Hi, folks. Good afternoon, good morning. The people out there, the beautiful people out there, please keep safe, take care of your health. Be safe from Corona. Is still roaming around here and there in some of the countries, and I pray that they may come up uh, uh, from this kind of situation and they come up with health and come up with the final news that this thing has gone forever from our lives. So today we are going to discuss, and I'm discussing this thing because some people were discussing about behavioral sciences, and some of my students, being a tutor and facilitator, approached me and saying that we are often hearing about some of the terms like emotional intelligence, NLP, Ikigai, Maslow theory about HR, so and something about behavioral sciences. So what are these? So I thought it's a good idea because like I can discuss something about NLP and this kind of behavioral science concepts so that the people out there in the YouTube can get a quality sort of information for these kind of behavioral sciences. So what they are, why they exist, why people thought of getting into or researching into these kind of activities. So we are making a short videos, a set of short videos about each one of them to give a little bit insight about this one. And it is very precise, thinking that you guys may be busy, so you may not have time. So we are trying to make it as simple as possible. And in the next few videos, since it's a startup video, so we are going to give you an insight about the authors or the inventors or the creator of these techniques. So some of the information will be with respect to each of the elements, why these people, they researched into these kind of behavioral science methodologies. So these videos are going to come up. So today the video is about Neuro Linguistic Programming, which is normally called as NLP. So let's discuss, and the reason I have chosen this shady part of it, because it's all about understanding the behaviors of the people, understanding the neuro language which is inbuilt by the Almighty in our head, and which is executing the behaviors which we are doing or executing in front of others, or even if we are alone. And once somebody execute a command sort of thing or say something, how we feel it, how we anticipate it, how we interpret it, it's all based on this neuro-linguistic programming sort of thing, which is inbuilt till the from the child it is born. It is inbuilt from the culture you are adopted, or it is in bring the your bringing up environment itself will have an influence of all kind of these things. So let us start about neuro linguistic programming, and we will something the most common question is what is NLP. So let us try to discuss something which is called NLP. So NLP, if you talk about the definition, which states that it is about the study of the structure of a subjective experience. But what it really means is that neuro means it refers to a mind, how we organize our thoughts and the mental life, and how we perceive others, how we perceive the behaviors of others. Because some of the gestures in some of the countries are well accepted as something as a comedian sort of thing, so it is taken as a comedy element. But in some of the things, some jargons, some gestures, if I perform, they will take it as a sort of threat, as a sort of some disrespect, or as a thought of somebody abusing them. So we need to understand how these kind of things happen and why we perceive differently being the same type of human being. So this is actually explained in the neuro linguistic programming. And the linguistic mean it's about the language, how we use that language. If somebody is speaking in English, if I know English language, I will be able to interpret it. If somebody is speaking another language with my brain doesn't understand, so he will not be able to respond it, and you will having a gray area or a black area in your mind because you don't have any vocabulary, a set of dictionary for that. And the programming is actually the sequence of a repetitive behaviors, the patterns of thought, how they help or how they hinder us. So this is about a short brief of neuro-linguistic programming. And let's discuss about how this thing came into the picture. So if I have to give you a glimpse about, there were two people, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, and all over the internet, they are actually famous being the co-authors or co-creators of the NLP technique. And Richard Bandler was a student of psychology in the University of California, and he was working with John Grinder, who was an assistant professor at that time with respect to the linguistic languages. So these two people are in this background scene, and it's a very interesting story how it all started. So we are going to have a separate video because this is not structured for today's video. So we are going to have a separate video. So I would request you to please be aware and be subscribe our channel so that you are aware when this video comes into the picture. So these two people, they did a research sort of thing on three of the people who were expert, and then they came up with a model which is basically made to identify the non-verbal and the verbal communication sets, and we are going to discuss lots and lots of things about this one and why NLP is being used today and at that time, and it is going to be used in future because it is made on some of the techniques or methodology that can be helpful for the individuals and professional working in the field of coaching, doing sales, doing marketing, influencing others. And if you know yourself better, you can do it and achieve a self-development out of it. So that's why it's a very powerful technique. So NLP and you, why it is for you, why it is for me, it is all about, it gives you something, a starting point, a methodology to understand who are people, why they behave in a certain way. So it gives you idea to look at different angles when you are looking at a behavior of a person. So if this person is irritating me or if I don't like his behavior, so NLP will guide me, will tell me how to evaluate why this person is behaving in that way and why I am being influenced, affected with his behavior. So I also will understand something how I can change, because sometimes what happens is that if we go and migrate to a place which is not known to us now, and we are not familiar with the people, and there is a just there is a different trend of people behavior, so maybe I am not very much comfortable with those kind of environment. But since I have decided to migrate, so now I cannot change those 1 million people who are there, because they will be behaving in the same way. And if I am irritated and I am influenced and affected by that, so NLP will also guide you how to self-develop your things and just get rid of those things which are not putting or which are putting pressures on your mind and you are feeling irritated out of it. So NLP curiosity gives rise to most of the questions. Why we do something which we are doing, how we do, okay, how do we think, how do we learn, how do you do that, what do I want, what is the difference that makes a difference, what's difference between me and a successful people in the field, why do we get angry, when do we get happy, how do we get happy. So these all are the questions which we are going to ask, or if you're taking a coaching session with me or with somebody who is NLP trained, so it will give you an idea. It will throw out these questions. We have to identify the answers of these questions, and these questions answering will help us to understand ourselves and understand the people out there. So what are your next steps? If you want to unlock your potential and you are curious about learning more thing about NLP, so this is just a short introduction. So if you guys like this video, you want to understand more about NLP, kindly subscribe and share with your friends. And any one of you who would like to have a learning journey with me, please leave a message in the comment box and we will get back to you. So kindly be aware, we are going to have our new videos on emotional intelligence, introduction to Ikigai, introduction to other fields of behavior sciences, introduction to Maslow theories of HR, and introduction to the lives of Mr. Bradner and all the people who are the creators of these techniques or different techniques, so that we can provide you a little bit of insight about those things. So bye for now. Thank you for listening and hope to see you soon with another video.